Hello all, I am the Holland Phantom, and for today's video we're going to be having a live battle from the base set through gym format. On one side, we've got the Brock's Ninetales deck going up against the Rocket Zapdos deck on the other side, so we'll see which of these two decks can take the victory today. But before we begin, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and to my Twitter account at Holland_Phantom so you don't miss out on any new Pokemon TCG content. And now with it out of the way, let's get into the battle. And here we go, the battle has started, with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Ninetales side, we've got Brock's Vulpix as the active Pokemon, with another Vulpix on the bench. And on the Zapdos side, we've got Rocket Zapdos as the active Pokemon, with another Zapdos on the bench. The Ninetales side is going first, attaching a Water Energy to Vulpix and attacking with Hypnotic Gaze, putting Zapdos to sleep, but then it immediately wakes up between turns with a coin flip of heads. And now on the Zapdos side, the player activates Computer Search, discarding 2 cards from their hand to then search the deck for any 1 card to add to their hand. There's the deck coming back down. And the next card played is going to be Rocket Sneak Attack, taking a look at the opponent's hand, choosing 1 trainer card found there, and then shuffling that card back into the opponent's deck. Rocket Sneak Attack is a really good disruption card in this format. As we saw, it got rid of the opponent's Professor Oak. And now they're going to be benching a Scyther and playing a Professor Oak of their own to discard their entire hand, and then draw 7 brand new cards. Professor Oak is the predecessor to the current format Professor's Research, but it is not a supported card, so you can play it as many times as you want per turn. Next, the player attaches Lightning Energy to the active Zapdos and attacking with Plasma to hit for 20 damage, and then getting back a discarded Lightning Energy to attach onto Zapdos. There's the Lightning Energy coming down, and now turn passes over to the Ninetales side. The player starts off by using Potion to heal 20 damage off of Vulpix. And next they're going to be using their own Computer Search to discard 2 cards from the hand, and then searching the deck for any 1 card. There's a chosen card. Coming face down, they do not have to show the chosen card to the opponent. So let's see what they got. Okay, Vulpix evolves into Ninetales immediately, and then the player activates Professor Oak, so that must have been the chosen card. There's the 7 cards being drawn. And let's see if there's going to be any more Pokemon or energy cards being played this turn. Yes, here we see a second Water Energy coming down into Ninetales. Next, the player benches Chansey, and they're going to be activating Energy Removal to get rid of one of the opponent's Lightning Energies from their Zapdos. Followed by Item Finder to discard 2 cards from their hand to get a Professor Oak back from the discard pile. And there's another Professor Oak being played, discarding and drawing 7 brand new cards again. Like I said earlier, you can play as many Professor Oaks as you want per turn, though the player does have to be careful not to deck out by using too many Professor Oaks. There's another Computer Search being played to search the deck for another card. There's the chosen card being put face down once again. Let's see what they got this time. This time it's going to be Brock's Protection being equipped to the active Ninetales. And now it activates its Pokemon Power Shapeshift to transform into Misty's Gyarados. Now the player activates their 3rd Professor Oak to draw 7 new cards again. That is 21 cards drawn off Professor Oak. The benched Vulpix evolves into another Ninetales, and that's going to be the turn. Brock's Protection, equipped to the Misty's Gyarados, protects the energies from being discarded by Energy Removal and Super Energy Removal. On the Zapdos side, the player just attacked with Plasma, hitting for 20 damage and attaching a 3rd Lightning Energy onto Zapdos. And on the Ninetales side, the player uses Gust of Wind to bring up the bench Zapdos, the one without any energy. And that's going to be it. Turn passes back over to the Zapdos side. The new Zapdos gets its own Lightning Energy and attacks with Plasma, hitting Gyarados for 20 more damage, bringing it down to 60 HP remaining. But the player just showed that there's no more Lightning remaining in the discard pile. And now on the Ninetales side, Gyarados gets its 4th Water Energy. It will be able to use its attack. Misty's Gyarados also comes with a Pokemon power called Rebellion, making it so that every time it attacks, the player has to flip 2 coins, and if they're both tails, Gyarados gets shuffled back into the deck and the attack does nothing. But because it evolved from Brock's Ninetales, its Pokemon power is deactivated, meaning the player does not have to flip any coins. Okay, the player transformed a second Ninetales into another Gyarados, and then used energy removal to get rid of one of the lightning energies from the bench Zapdos. The player also activated Nightly Garbage Run, getting back 2 discarded water energy and a Dark Blastoise to shuffle back into the deck. These cards were probably discarded earlier in the game by Professor Oak. Next, the player activates Lass. Both players have to show each other their hands and shuffle away any trainer cards found there. The Ninetales player has no trainer cards, but the Zapdos player has to shuffle away 3. Okay, there's a deck coming back down. And there's the attack. Tidal Wave hitting for 70 damage, taking an easy KO against Zapdos and taking the first prize of the game. Scyther comes up active on the Zapdos side. Scyther does have a free retreat cost, letting it act as a good pivot. And next the player benches Chansey. Scyther retreats, and the player promotes Rocket Zapdos. A double colorless energy is equipped to the bench Scyther, and there's the attack. Another Plasma hitting for 20 more damage. And the lightning energy comes down to Zapdos. Gyarados is now down to 40 HP remaining. The Ninetales side, the player attaches a Brock's Protection to the benched Vulpix and attaches a water energy onto it, and there's the attack. Another Tidal Wave taking a second prize. So 2 prizes taken to the Zapdos is 0. Scyther comes up active again, and now the player activates Item Finder to discard 2 cards from the hand to get back to Professor Oak to draw 7 brand new cards. They just need 1 more energy for the Scyther to start attacking. The next card's going to be built to draw 2 more cards from the deck. And yes, there we see a lightning energy coming down onto Scyther, and also a plus power, boosting its attack up to 40, taking a KO against Gyarados, and Zapdos finally takes its first prize. Chansey comes up active on the Ninetales side. Chansey is not really an attacker in this deck, just meant to soak up damage. Now the player activates Brock's Training Method to search the deck for any Pokemon with Brock in its name, and the one chosen is going to be Brock's Ninetales, evolving from the benched Vulpix. A water energy comes down into that Ninetales. It's important to note that the player opted to give the energy onto Ninetales instead of the Gyarados, as Ninetales does have Brock's Protection, meaning the player cannot use energy removal against these cards. Scyther attacked with Slash, hitting Chansey for 30 damage, and now on the Ninetales side, Ninetales activates Shapeshift to transform it into Dark Blastoise. Turn passes with nothing else being done. Scyther attacks with Slash, and that's going to be the turn. The player activated no other cards. Back over to the Ninetales side, Water Energy comes down into Dark Blastoise, and Erika's Dratini also comes down. And that's going to be the turn. There's no way to get this Chansey out of the active spot. Oh, and now the Zapdos player activates Goop Gas Attack, turning off all Pokemon powers in play, meaning that without Shapeshift, Ninetales discard their Gyarados and Blastoise, as they cannot hold our transformations. Next, Scyther attacks with Slash Attack, hitting Chansey for 30 more damage, and it's almost knocked out. Another Chansey comes down into the bench for the Ninetales side, and now the player's going to be activating another Professor Oak. I lost count. I don't know if this is the 4th or 5th one, but the player has to be careful. They're going to be running out of cards pretty soon if they keep up at this pace. Okay, back over to the Zapdos side. Electabuzz comes down to the bench, and now the player activates Rocket Sneak Attack to once again take a look at the opponent's hand, and 2 trainers there, Narrow Gym and Gust of Wind. The player opts to shuffle Gust of Wind back into the deck. And we will be seeing Chansey getting knocked out this turn. Are there going to be any energy attachments, though? Oh, but first a Plus Power comes down, and a Defender! Plus Power boosts attack by 10, and Defender's going to shield it from 20 damage on the following turn. Oh, and there's Professor Oak. The player was just using up as many cards as they could from their hand before they discarded everything. Professor Oak draws 7 brand new cards. And there's Computer Surge to discard 2 more cards from the hand to search the deck for any one card. And it looks like one chosen is going to be another Rocket Zapdos. Lightning Energy comes down to the bench Zapdos. And there's the attack, Slash. Hitting for 40 damage and taking the KO. And that is 2 prizes taken by Zapdos. Both players are tied at 4 prizes remaining apiece. Brock's Ninetales comes up into the active spot. Does the player have any way to transform it into another Pokemon? Okay, we do see a 4th Water Energy coming down. And there's a Shapeshift activating, and yes, they did have another Misty's Gyarados. So we will be seeing a Tidal Wave attack. There it is. It is not a KO this time, as Defender does protect Scyther from 20 damage, so it only takes 50. Turn passes back over to the Zapdos side once again. Zapdos gets a second Lightning Energy, and Scyther attacks with Slash. This time it's going to be hitting for 60 damage, as Misty's Gyarados is weak to Grass-type Pokemon. A turn passes over to Ninetales again. Water Energy comes onto the bench Ninetales. Does the player have Brock's protection for this one? No, they don't. There's the attack Tidal Wave, taking a KO against Scyther, and that's 3 prizes taken by Brock's Ninetales. Zapdos comes up as a new active Pokemon, and the player activates another Bill to draw 2 more cards from the deck. Another Rocket Zapdos comes down, and that one gets its own Lightning Energy. Another Rocket Sneak Attack is going to take a look at the opponent's hand, and... oh, they're getting rid of one of the opponents. Super Energy Removal, that could have been really useful for them. Okay, there's a deck coming back down. And there's the attack, Plasma, hitting Gyarados for 20 damage once again. Getting a Lightning Energy onto Zapdos. Though at this point it doesn't really matter, as it will be getting knocked out in the following turn. On the Ninetales side, a Water Energy comes down to the bench Ninetales. And there's the attack. Tidal Wave taken away to KO against Zapdos, and Brock's Ninetales is down to just 2 prizes remaining. Rocket's Zapdos comes up as a new active Pokemon. It gets a double colorless energy, and there's the attack, Plasma. That's going to be the KO against Gyarados, and Zapdos gets another Lightning Energy attached. Brock's Ninetales comes up as a new active Pokemon once again. It only has 2 Water Energy, though. Okay, there's the third one, but do they have a Pokemon to transform it into? Yeah, there's a Shapeshift, and it's transforming into Poliwrath this time. Poliwrath attacks with Water Gun, hitting Zapdos for 30 damage. Over to the Zapdos side. Oh, they don't have a Lightning Energy in hand. So they're going straight for the attack, Plasma, hitting Poliwrath for 20 damage. And they're getting their third Lightning Energy, but it might not be enough. Oh, Potion heals the 20 damage off Poliwrath, so completely undid the Zapdos turn. Do they have the 4th Water Energy in hand? Yes, they do. That's going to be the KO against the Zapdos. And there's the attack. Whirlpool. Hitting Zapdos for 40 more damage to take the KO, and now Ninetales is down to just 1 more prize. They just got to take 1 more knockout to win this game. Electabuzz comes up as a new active Pokemon. The player uses Plus Power. And Professor Oak, drawing 7 brand new cards. It looks like the player's opting to go for a Thunder Shock, hoping to paralyze Ninetales, because if they do paralyze it, its ability will get shut off and transform it back into a Ninetales. Oh, but the coin flip is Tails. Poliwrath is not paralyzed, and now it's going to be over to the Ninetales side. Oh, but that's the final card left in their deck. It's going to be a Plus Power, hitting for 50 damage with Whirlpool, but that's not going to be enough. Once the Zapdos side ends their turn, it's going to be the game. Yeah, there's the pass of the turn. Brock's Ninetales is out of cards, and there's the handshake. Rocket Zapdos is your winner. So what did you guys think of that battle? Let me know down in the comments below, and be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video to help this channel grow and reach new viewers. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, this is the Holland Phantom logging out.